Never seen this done at this show before. I've never seen this bird, a bird like this, fly to anybody. If you direct your attention up here, and I'm very serious, I've seen parrots fly, birds of prey, but never a ground hornbill, the largest hornbill there is. Now, if he goes through the back of the wall waiting on your head, just sit there. He's not going to hurt you. I'm getting out of here. Now, don't get nervous. If he doesn't do this, it'll probably be the best for all of us. Whoa. That is around. That's not easy to do, everybody. You know why I say that, everybody? Thank you. You know why I say that? Where'd she come from? Was that bird to her? Oh, you're crazy. Oh my gosh. How's your arm? That bird, the reason I'm amazed, everyone, is I filmed that bird in Africa a lot, and I never ever, hardly ever see them fly. You can actually approach them up to me, to him like this. You know what's unique with this bird, everybody? The ground hornbill, especially the males have a big red pouch. They have a big red pouch. You can get real close to them because what they do is they follow herds of elephant, herds of zebra about a mile back. They kick up the dirt like this as they're walking. Then this bird goes around and picks up like snakes, anything you can imagine, this bird will eat. It can even be another little mammal. You can see how big his beak is there. It's called the ground hornbill. A lot of you have seen the hornbills. They're this big that live in the trees. All right? They make a little hole in there. They put mud there and stay inside there until their babies hatch. But this is the largest hornbill on earth, and it's from Africa. You can see their feet they're not a bird of prey. You see their feet is like a turkey or something. It looks like a screwed up turkey. Anyway, thank you so much for bringing the hornbill. Thank you all for flying that bird. That's the first I've ever seen to do that. I bet them a dinner that wouldn't do it, so that cost me about $15. That flight right there. Now what we have here are two animals that are from the same part of the world, Malaysia. I'm not talking about these two young ladies, I'm talking about what's on their shoulder. This is a bear cat or binturong, a baby bear cat or binturong, everyone. It's from Malaysia. I tried to film these 2 years ago when I was in Malaysia. Impossible. They're nocturnal. That animal on best shoulder there gets to be over 75 pounds to 100 pounds. You see the tail she has there? It's a prehensile tail. That tail gets to be 4 or 5 feet long and is this thick. It's the strongest prehensile tail of any animal in the world. You've seen monkeys with prehensile tails. Several animals have prehensile tails, like a possum. But that prehensile tail, if it wanted to, could go around her neck and strangle her in a split second. But that's not what it does with it. It hangs upside down and gets everything. It's in the mongoose family, everybody. This animal here is like our wolverine. What I'm telling you, when it's full grown, it'll take down anything. It doesn't care how big it is. What Julie has over here, this is my daughter Julie, by the way. What she has over here, yeah, you wouldn't want to come to our house and see what's been raised in our house. You'd ask Beth. This is a palm civet. A lot of you may remember the SARS disease. Some of you remember the SARS disease from about 10 years ago. It killed about several thousand people in Asia and about 64 people in Toronto. Remember the SARS disease? It was terrible. One of the fastest spreading diseases in the history of the world. What happened is, this species of animal caused it. This is a delicacy in China. Sells for $200 in a restaurant. Someone was skinning it in a restaurant. The SARS, who carried SARS, as a result of that, a lot of people died. Hence, what happened is, they destroyed every palm civet they could find. What happens when there's mad cow disease, everybody? Farmers, they destroy the cows. Bird flu, they destroy the birds. Same thing happened here. They had to do that. However, they did not get the ones in the wild and jungles, and they never will, because they're so far deep in the Malaysian jungles, which are impossible to even walk through, they won't find them. But this animal also is unique from the standpoint, this tail is not prehensile like this animal. This tail is just used for balance. Again, this animal loves to eat cobras. Cobras, everybody. You know what a cobra is? It's deadly, right? How did he survive a cobra? Real quickly. Let's say the cobra is right here in the center, flared up like this. If you saw one of my shows last year, I filmed a 16-foot cobra that stood up like this in front of me. Now, I wasn't hearing him. I was like, I'm not crazy. He was like over there. My old friend Steve Irwin, he would have done it, but not me. Anyway, he was standing up like that, like this, right? This animal comes down on the ground and walks around the cobra very slowly. Now this animal's smart enough, a cobra strike everybody goes like this, all right? It's very predictable. A rattlesnake will hit you 3 times before you even know what happened, but not a cobra. You can almost follow him. It's very fast, but he goes like that. So this animal walks around this one here to where the cobra cannot reach him, all right? And then what happens, this animal here starts running around the cobra, and the cobra goes like this. And the cobra gets so dizzy, the cobra falls over, and he bites his head off. It's terrible for the cobra, but that's how he eats. Anyway, that's Toddy, our Paul Civet, and our beautiful Bender on our Bearcat. Thank you, Beth. Thank you, Julie, for the public zoo for those on. It's fun to see these animals here and then see them out in the wild as well. Now, again, this looks like some messed up fox. But everybody, this is a finnick fox, all right? The smallest fox in the entire world. This is like 8 years old. It's not a baby fox. This fox lives in the Sahara Desert in northern Africa. This animal actually can go his whole life without ever drinking water. Can you imagine that? It's a mammal. Because the Sahara Desert just doesn't have a lot of water over there. Now, how does he live then if he does that? He lives with the water he might get from the animals that he eats. Now what happens if that thing gets on that thing? Anyway, I'll finish this one first real quick. Now this one here also stays cool with his big ears. Yes, he can hear real well with those big ears, but he also stays cool with those big ears. You know what this one likes to eat? Scorpions, those big black scorpions. This animal loves these scorpions. That's where he gets his water from. Remember, the Sahara Desert, the smallest fox in the world. This animal here is one that I doubt many of you have ever seen. I've heard somebody say it's an ocelot. This is a serval cat, everybody, from Africa. If a lot of you have ever been to Egypt, not that anybody's going to go to Egypt right now, but if you did go there, it's a magnificent country. But once we all get to go back there, you will go in the pyramids probably. You'll see the mummies. You know the mummies that the pharaohs are buried in, right? You will see, inside the mummies, and then they're inside the pyramids. On the inside of the pyramid walls, when you go there, and on the outside of the mummies, you will see this cat drawn perfectly. We know that back 2 to 5,000 years ago, this cat lived up into Egypt. Today, the cat is nowhere found. 2,000 miles south of Egypt, you now find the cat, but the equator goes through Africa, like through Kenya, the equator goes through there. You find the cat right around there and south of there, down in all in South Africa. The cat is virtually all gone in northern Africa now. The animal, as you can see here, is not full grown quite yet. It's maybe about 35 pounds. You notice the cat, ears, a bobtail. You'll also notice the legs are different lengths on this cat. Why is that? It's one of the few cats in the world that can catch a bird in free flight. When I just filmed this cat last year in South Africa, I've only seen them 4 times because they come out late in the day toward nightfall. And about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, they'll go in. But this cat, 70% of his diet are insects. But when he does, he can catch a bird in free flight. He'll get down in the bushes, or tall grass, I'm sorry, not in the jungle, he was out in the plains kind of. He'll get down in the grass and sit and watch a bird. He'll jump up with those back legs like a bullet and grab the bird flying. It's amazing, this cat, how fast it is. You also see that they say that the cat was also domesticated by the Egyptians, as I told you, because you'll see it on the mummies and the pyramids in Egypt. But they're a unique creature, a very different type of cat, as you can see there, and one that has, if you look at the back of his ears, some of you folks, he has what they call eye spots. If you look at the back of those ears there, if you can see him right now, he has these white spots. That's so that if an animal's going to eat him, that animal thinks he's looking backwards at him. It's just not, but it's the back of his ears there. That's a serval cat. Thank you so much. Very, very difficult animal to work with, but one that's a beautiful creature, it really is. And I'm sorry to say that this animal is also endangered. It takes about 10 of those to make a coat. And so it takes about 10 animals. And now, today, that's not the problem. Today, they're a solitary cat that's just trying to locate each other to find the breeding partner. So thank you all so much for bringing that to Columbus Zoo and the beautiful here at Busch Park. What we're going to do here in a minute, everybody, is we're going to bring out a cheetah, all right? The fastest land mammal in the world. Not now, we're not going to. I'll talk about these in just a second. These right here, everybody, are bald eagles. These are flamingos. If you notice, the real red ones are the Caribbean. These are Chilean, right? There are different types of flamingos throughout the world, everybody. They're one of the most amazing sights I've ever seen. One of the most amazing sights I've ever seen, everyone. Last year again, I was in the Atacama Desert in Chile. Have you ever heard of the Atacama Desert? Anybody in here? Nobody has, because I never had either. But you know something? It's the driest place on earth. Look it up when you go home. It's fascinating. The Atacama Desert in northern Chile. It's where, remember the miners got stuck in Chile for, what, 40 days? That's where they were. But they weren't as high up as we were. I was at 17,000 feet. I didn't go any higher because I couldn't breathe. It never rained in history. And guess what flies over? Flamingos, the Chilean flamingo, like this one right here. Why do they fly over? They land in these pools of, it's like, how can I explain it? These are volcanic mountains, so they kind of, it's hot water in a way, warm, and the temperatures, you can see it, and it goes down below 20 degrees at night. They actually land in that water and stay there as they fly over, just to get down to about 5,000 feet where they nest and lay their eggs. Flamingo's a unique creature, everybody. If you look at the legs there, that is not the knee, that's the ankle you see halfway up there, all right? The animal's beak is unique, and that animal's beak is one of the most incredible siphons of any animal in the world. They even say that even it's microscopic, but they can siphon out with that beak right there. The dirtier the water, the flamingo likes it better. It's amazing. How do we find these animals in the wild sometimes? You can find them by the smell. It's worse than a cesspool, because the dirtier the water, the more the flamingo likes it. And they never get in above their, what I call their knees, their ankles halfway up their leg right there. Are the flamingos hunted for food? No, not that we know of. I've been in countries, South America, Africa, Australia, Caribbean. Nobody, I don't know what it is with the meat, they don't touch them. They do kill the flamingo for its feathers. That's illegal in most countries to do that. But there's nothing prettier at sunset than to see tens of thousands, or I don't know how many thousands of them are there, flying in the sunset there, just like I saw in the Atacama Desert. It's absolutely gorgeous. You can see the different sizes of flamingo as well. They lay usually one egg, and they'll stand there, or they'll sit on it, and the birds go. Hold on, just wait just a second before you bring out the next animal, because I don't want it to be the cheetah and have a flamingo out here.